month summary.
We were trying to do these summaries every week, but we failed. So we're going to do a summary covering the first whole month of our travels.
The first whole month, or we're not going to actually go back to the beginning. We don't want to bore you. We're just going to start where we left off at the week 2, which was more like week 2.5.
So when we left you, we were in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yes.
And from Portsmouth, we visited Maine.
Oh, Maine was lovely. Yeah. I loved Maine.
Double Lighthouse.
Stay in Maine all day.
And
yes.
Kennebunkport.
Kennebunkport. Yes. So yeah, we drove up the coast of Maine, and we had, of course, lobster. Lots and lots of lobster.
Yeah. Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
So from Portsmouth, we drove south to Rhode Island, and we stayed one night in a place called Coventry, which is just south of Providence in Rhode Island.
Yeah, we were planning on staying there a wee bit longer, like 3 nights, but Rhode Island has a rule that if you are not from New England, the New England states and New York and Maryland or something like that, you could not stay there without quarantining for 14 days. And even though we had been in that area for long enough to where we wouldn't have to quarantine, they took one look at our Texas driver's license and said, nope. So we could only stay 1 night. So from there just passing through is okay, but...
Yeah. So we stayed there one night, then we went to Massachusetts, a place called New Bedford.
New Bedford was really cute,
really nice.
Too. It's a cute little town.
And we stayed there 2 or 3 nights, and we visited Nantucket and Cape Cod from New Bedford.
Yeah, Nantucket was an adorable little island. It's exactly what you would think. We rented a moped scooter thing,
yeah.
And just had a great time tooling around and looking at beaches and lighthouses and cute little Nantucket houses.
Yeah.
And Cape Cod, we were trying to get to all the different bodies of water that touch the Cape, which is the Cape Cod Bay, the Atlantic Ocean, the Martha's Vineyard Sound, and then there's, what's that other one called? Buzzards Bay.
Okay.
So we made it to 3 of the 4, but because we didn't realize how massive Cape Cod is, we thought, it'll be an hour. No, it was a lot bigger than we thought, and we spent a lot of time in Provincetown.
Yeah, but we loved Cape Cod.
Yeah, we loved Cape Cod.
So after New Bedford, we drove south into Connecticut, or southwest, I guess, into Connecticut. Fun fact, I can't spell Connecticut. It's
C-T. Connecticut.
Yeah. Never knew that.
Norwalk, Connecticut was adorable.
We had a really nice hotel there, and we upgraded, a nice place with a balcony.
Oh, that was fun.
We tried to stay a couple of nights there, but they couldn't let us stay in there. They were fully booked, so
they said you can stay on, but you have to leave this upgraded balcony place, and we were like, what's the point?
So then we headed south past New York.
You drove through
the Bronx.
That was fun. Bronx.
Yeah.
First time he ever drove in New York.
That was cool.
New York City. So that was a lot of traffic, but he made it. Yay!
Yeah. And we went to a place called Woodburn in Pennsylvania, which is just maybe 30 miles north of Philadelphia. We based ourselves there for 2 or 3 days. And from there, we visited some friends close to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then we went on to Red Bank.
We saw more friends and went to Red Bank and Asbury, New Jersey. So that was fun.
It was fun, and then
a couple of great days spending time with friends. That was awesome. Yeah.
But and then we had to come back to Houston for an appointment, so we started the journey back south.
Down south, yes. So from there we went to where did we go? Begins with a B. Bristol. Bristol's is a slang for boobs. He's probably going to cut this out.
I will cut this out. So Bristol was fun because
So Bristol, which one were we? We stayed
we
in.
stayed in Virginia.
We stayed in Virginia, but it's Virginia and Tennessee.
It was fun. After that, we only spent one night at each of these places because we are heading back to where we are now in Houston.
Yeah.
The next night was Birmingham, Alabama, which was a fascinating place.
Fascinating.
Much more interesting than I thought it was going to be. So really interesting.
Yeah,
I could have spent longer there. It was fun.
Yeah. If you haven't done it and you're on a
Yeah.
road trip, go see Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's a really, really fascinating little town.
Yeah, we were trying to drive about 6 hours
City,
every day.
right.
So we then the next night was New Orleans, which was really kind of spooky how quiet it was. And
Yeah.
if you haven't seen that video, check out. If you've been to Bourbon Street ever before and seen the crowds of people that gather there, the video shows you it's unbelievably quiet.
And so this time, with not so many people, I was noticing things that I had never noticed before, especially on Bourbon Street. There were some really cool things that I was like, I've never seen that before. That's obviously been here for decades. So
Yeah, but only one night there, I'm afraid, and then we headed back.
We had a great view from our room too.
We had a nice view of the
view of the
Superdome,
Superdome.
yeah.
And
But then the next day we headed back to Houston, and we'll show you some of the place we're staying in the next video. But we made it back to Houston.
They call it the Artist Cottage. Yes, the Artist Cottage. We have to cut that.
They call it the Artist Cottage.
They call it the Artist College. We've been calling it the bungalow. Did it again. Okay. Take 12.
So we made it back to Houston, and we are staying in a really cute little bungalow, and we'll show you a bit more about that in the next video.
Yeah. We've been calling it the bungalow, but the people who own it call it the Artist Cottage.
So we'll see that later.
We'll see that.
So that was the second half of our month trip, and now we'll show you some of the things some of the states we've visited this time.
Yeah. The end of week 2, we had visited 30. How many states? 34 states. That's
both
of us had visited in our lifetime.
Yep. So since the end of week 2, we've been able to bag 3 more states, 2 new ones for Dee Dee and 3 new ones for me. So they are, as you can see here, Rhode Island and Connecticut, and then I was able to get Delaware. Dee Dee had been there before, but we drove through Delaware, so that is 3 states, and that left us, we've now done 37 states.
37 states, yes.
Yeah.
So that leaves me with 3 states to go, and Drew with 13.
Well, it leaves you with 5. If you include
Sorry,
Alaska.
5. I meant 3 of the contiguous U.S. 5 total, yes. Still got to get Alaska and Hawaii in there somehow.
Yeah. And now for some statistics. Statistic time. This week sponsored by Kirsten Aldridge. She likes to know the details, so Kirsten, this is for you.
Details. Here we go.
Okay, so in total, we traveled, the first month we traveled 6,264 miles, which is, it's a lot of miles.
That's a lot of miles.
It was 127 hours driving, and Ruby performed well and got, on average, 23.1 miles per gallon, so well done, Ruby.
Wow.
So 6,264 miles is more than twice the distance between Los Angeles and New York, so across the United States. It's also more than 7 times the length of the UK. We mentioned that before, but it's now up to 7 times.
Wow.
And quite scarily, it's also a quarter of the way around the world. So,
did you happen to check to see if we could have driven to the UK? I mean, if there were a bridge?
No, I'll maybe add that to the next video.
Okay.
Yeah. And as we said,
Probably could have.
3 new states for me and 2 new states for Dee Dee. So that's cool. And also for Kirsten, we wanted to give you some fun facts from the trip and how we made the videos.
Fun facts?
Not fun?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just
facts.
Okay.
Just facts.
So as you can see, so for trip planning, we used an app called Road Trippers, which is a really good app. You can plan out your route, and it tells you how many hours driving, And what it allows you to do is to change your mind and move between cities, move cities all over the place, change where you're going, and it just recalculates everything for you. So it's based on Google Maps. It's like on top of Google Maps, and we also use Google Maps for driving as well. So that's what we use to plan it, and then to film all the activities, we had a couple of things. We had a little GoPro here that was mainly attached to the
that was sitting in the window right here in my face all the time. Everywhere we went, it was right there.
But to be honest, the bulk of the content was captured by Dee Dee on her iPhone, so she did most of the video and most of the photography as well.
Yes.
So that's what that was. And then to put it all together, we used an app called iMovie, which many of you will know, and also I did some stuff in PowerPoint. So that's what we used to put the videos together. We hope you enjoyed them. We're now at the end of the first month. We're staying a couple of weeks in Houston, and we'll probably be setting off again after a couple of weeks, and we'll do the other half of the country maybe.
Okay.
So look out for the next video.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye.